What's been a little surprising, and I think why there's so much conversation, at least from what I'm seeing, about Kelsey Plum is that during the season when the rest of the
that she did not sign an extension, and former general manager Natalie Williams told me before she and the Aces parted ways that, you know, Kelsey was offered an extension and
the unraveling of the Las Vegas Aces dynasty and the bombshell news that Kelsey Plum, their sharpshooting star, might be walking out the door. But that's not all. We're also spotlighting the Indiana Fever, a team quietly building a revolution that could reshape the league. Buckle up, because this is a story of egos, heartbreak, and redemption you won't want to miss. Chapter 1. The Aces' Golden Age and the Cracks in the Crown. Once upon a time, the Las Vegas Aces were the WNBA's untouchable empire. They ruled the league with a swagger that made opponents tremble and fans roar. With a core four of A'ja Wilson, Chelsea Gray, Jackie Young, and Kelsey Plum, they were a juggernaut. A team that didn't just win games, they dominated eras.
Four aces, the other, they're the core four: A'ja, Chelsea, Jackie Young, and Kelsey Plum. So when her other three, counterparts, they signed extensions,
2 championships, countless highlight reels, and a reputation as the gold standard of professional basketball. Their chemistry was electric, their talent unmatched, and their confidence, well, let's just say it bordered on arrogance. But empires, as history teaches us, don't last forever. The Aces' reign, once thought invincible, is now crumbling faster than a house of cards in a windstorm. The cracks in their foundation have turned into fault lines, and the drama unfolding in Vegas is the kind of spectacle that has the entire WNBA watching with bated breath, and maybe a bowl of popcorn. At the center of this storm is Kelsey Plum, the sharpshooting guard who's been the heartbeat of the Aces' offense. Plum's game is a thing of beauty: 17.8 points per game last season, 2 assists, 42% from the field, and nearly 37% from beyond the arc. She's the kind of player who can light up a scoreboard in a hurry, a clutch performer who thrives under pressure. But numbers only tell half the story. Behind the scenes, tensions are boiling, egos are clashing, and Plum's future with the Aces is hanging by a thread.
Comes to somebody like Kelsey Plum, she's coming off a difficult personal year, and she's emphasized that she wants to take time for herself, which is why she said that she pulled out of Unrivaled. So we're not necessarily.
The first sign of trouble came during the offseason when the Aces' core four faced a pivotal moment. A'ja Wilson, Chelsea Gray, and Jackie Young all signed extensions, locking in their futures with the franchise. But Plum, she didn't. According to sources close to the team, including former general manager Natalie Williams, Plum was offered an extension but turned it down. That decision sent shockwaves through the organization and sparked a firestorm of speculation. Why would a player of Plum's caliber, a cornerstone of the team, say no to a future in Vegas? The answer, it seems, lies in a mix of personal and professional turmoil. Plum has been open about the challenges she faced last year, both on and off the court. She described it as a difficult personal year, one that prompted her to pull out of the unrivaled 3-on-3 league to focus on herself. "I need to take time for me," she said in a statement that was equal parts cryptic and telling. For a player known for her fiery competitiveness, that admission hinted at deeper struggles, ones that may have fractured her relationship with the Aces. Chapter 2. The Kelsey Plum Powder.
Necessarily in the position to, with respect to what she said, to ask her directly, and that would be the best indicator here. But of course, you mentioned my reporting, I can pull and.
Keg, let's be clear, losing a game stings, but losing a star teammate, that's a gut punch that leaves scars. For the Aces, the prospect of Plum walking away isn't just a roster issue. It's a seismic shift that could redefine the franchise. Based on multiple conversations with insiders, the most likely scenario is that Plum is ready to move on. The question isn't if she'll leave, but where she'll go and how messy this breakup will get. The drama between Plum and the Aces has been simmering for a while, and it boiled over in spectacular fashion during the playoffs. Picture this: a high-stakes game, the crowd roaring, and the Aces fighting to keep their season alive. On the sideline, Coach Becky Hammon and Plum are locked in a heated exchange that's less about strategy and more about raw frustration. It wasn't just a disagreement over a bad possession, it was the tip of an iceberg, a public display of a relationship that's been fraying for months.
The same way that Satu said that she's working with the Dallas organization, that's been the implication, that the Aces are working to find a situation where, quote unquote, everybody's happy, which is exactly what Becky Hammon said to me about a month ago in regards to.
Hammon, known for her no-nonsense approach, didn't hold back. She tore into Plum for her performance, calling out her lack of effort and, by extension, the entire team's complacency. Plum's body language told the story. Arms crossed, eyes averted, a clear signal that she was done. "It's not just about one play," Hammon said post-game, her voice dripping with exasperation. "It's about showing up every night, giving everything you've got. We didn't do that." The tension wasn't limited to the sideline. In a game against the New York Liberty, the Aces needed Plum to deliver her trademark firepower. Instead, she managed a measly 6 points, shooting an abysmal 2 for 9 from the field. It wasn't just a bad night. It felt like a statement. Was Plum disengaged? Was she sending a message to Hammon and the organization? Or, as some whispers suggest, was this the early sign of a betrayal brewing behind closed doors? Whatever the truth, the fallout was undeniable. Plum's departure feels imminent, and the Aces are bracing for impact.
Is that there is a team that will be coming to the league this year, the Golden State Valkyries, and a part of me just kind of feels like that might be a fresh start for.
Wilson's frustration isn't just about Plum or the team's on-court struggles, it's about losing control. For years, she's been the face of the franchise, the player who carried the Aces through adversity. But now, with Plum's potential exit and the team's dynasty unraveling, Wilson is grappling with a bitter truth. Even queens can't hold a crumbling empire together alone. "I want to be the best teammate," she said recently, her voice tinged with desperation. "That's how I get the best out of my team." But her actions, public outbursts, locker room lectures are painting a different picture. Chapter 4. Where will Kelsey Plum land? While the Aces spiral, the rest of the WNBA is circling like sharks smelling blood in the water. Plum's impending free agency has sparked a bidding war, with teams eager to land a player of her caliber. At the top of the list, the Golden State Valkyries, the league's newest expansion team, armed with $1, $2 million in cap space and a hunger for a star to build around. The Valkyries aren't just looking for a role player, they want a face for their franchise, someone to plaster on billboards and rally a fan base.
Kelsey Plum, if she does decide that she wants to move on from the Aces, to me it gives them an opportunity to have a great perimeter scorer, which we know that Kelsey Plum is, but it also will add a little bit of.
Plum, with her Southern California roots and electrifying game, is tailor-made for the role. Born and raised in Poway, California, Plum is no stranger to the West Coast spotlight. San Francisco, while a trek from her hometown, offers a fresh start and a chance to redefine her legacy. What makes the Valkyries an even more intriguing destination is their head coach, Natalie Ncaa. A former Aces assistant, Ncaa has a deep bond with Plum that goes beyond the court. Insiders recall how Ncaa and Plum spent an entire offseason bonding over early morning Pilates sessions, a routine that Plum roped her into with her infectious energy. "Kelsey changed my life," Ncaa once said, laughing about their 6 a.m. workouts. That kind of relationship could be the deciding factor for Plum, offering the comfort of familiarity in a new environment. The Valkyries' pitch is compelling. A clean slate, a chance to be the centerpiece of a franchise, and a coach who knows her inside and out. But they're not the only team in the race. The Seattle Storm, perennial contenders with cap flexibility, are also in the mix, eyeing Plum as the missing piece to their championship puzzle. The WNBA's version of a bidding war is heating up, and Plum is the trophy everyone wants to showcase. Back in Vegas, the Aces are faced with a stark reality. They may not be able to keep Plum.
Of familiarity for her because the new head coach was the former assistant coach in Las Vegas, and I think that that could also be something that plays well where you're getting a new environment and you're getting a new experience.
Her refusal to sign an extension speaks volumes, and the organization is reportedly exploring sign-and-trade options to salvage some value from her departure. "We want to make sure everyone's happy," Hammon said cryptically when asked about Plum's situation. Translation? The Aces are preparing for life without their sharpshooter, and it's going to be a painful transition. Chapter 5. Becky Hammon's breaking point. If Wilson is the queen and Plum is the rebel, Becky Hammon is the general watching her army fall apart. Hammon, the mastermind behind the Aces championship runs, has always been the glue holding this team together. Her sharp basketball mind and unrelenting drive turned a talented roster into a dynasty. But even the best coaches have their limits, and Hammon is at her breaking point. The 2024 season was a wake-up call for the Aces. After years of sipping their own champagne, They were blindsided by a playoff collapse that exposed their vulnerabilities. Hammond, never one to sugarcoat, laid it bare in a post-game press conference that felt more like a eulogy. "It's not going to be the same group next year," she said, her voice heavy with emotion. "It just won't." Hammond's frustration isn't just about losses on the court, it's about a team that's lost its soul. She's watched her players get distracted by commercials, brand deals, and the trappings of celebrity. "The whole league's been pissed off for the last 8 months," she said, her words cutting like a knife. "And my players are out there being freaking celebrities." For Hammond, who built her career on grit and hustle, it's a betrayal of everything she stands for. The Aces front office isn't helping matters. The team has yet to replace Natalie Williams as general manager, opting instead for a decisions-by-committee approach that's raised eyebrows across the league.
First conversation I had with Natalie Ncaa, she was telling me that she spent the whole offseason doing Pilates with Kelsey Plum because Kelsey had roped her into it, and they were waking up at like 6 a.m. together to go.
"It's unclear how long this will go on," one insider told our YouTube channel, noting that the organization seems content to leave the GM role vacant. Add to that the departure of assistant coaches like Natalie Ncaa, now with the Valkyries, and Tyler Marsh, now leading the Chicago Sky, and it's clear the Aces are in disarray. Hammond's not just heartbroken, she's angry. She's poured her heart into this team, only to watch it unravel faster than a bad reality TV show. But she's not giving up. "We have to get better," she said, her resolve unwavering. "We have to look ourselves in the mirror, see our shortcomings, and make the move.